This is your Aussie day trade setup for today. So just a quick notice around this set of videos. At the end of the month, we will be finishing with the Aussie. I won't be doing much reviews on it. Not much interest in it. There's not many people watching, so there's very few of you that actually watch it every day. So I think that time in the morning I could spend doing some Forex reviews rather than the Aussie. So we'll continue for the month, but end of the month we will end this series of videos. So let's just get started here. So yesterday, I didn't get involved in this market, as I said, and I haven't been involved in the Aussie for quite some time now. I think probably at least 6 weeks ago that I took a trade on this market. So we ended up with a bit of an indecision. Let's just make sure that I don't have nonsense data. Just a little bit of nonsense data, not much. So we've ended up with a range bar. Okay, it's a red range bar. It's off a level, for lack of a better word, that level being moving average. We haven't quite got down into this area here, which seems to be a little bit of support here at 45,162. And yesterday we had a pretty bad jobs number come out. The market fell and then it rallied again. So if we just look at that there, we have a pretty tight range that we're in. Range being, there's the top of the range there's the bottom of the range. So I suppose tight is the wrong word. But in relation to the Aussie, I mean, that is pretty much we're range bound between these two levels. So the downside is 45,162 and the upside is 47,526. Okay, so just looking at the 3 hour here, we're in a channel, in a range. I suspect we're going to get buyers here. So we had some major breakouts on the US markets, but the bulls stepped in and destroyed pretty much every setup, every bearish setup that happened yesterday. And that's after bad data. So I think to me, there was one lesson yesterday. Take your profit. When you see the levels, take your profit, watch what happens, and then rather look for the next setup. Don't aim for the bigger setups, if that makes sense. Okay, so for me, I think you should be expecting probably a bit of a gap up. We had a good rally yesterday. So NASDAQ futures at the moment is flat, but yesterday the NASDAQ was up 1%, and Tencent at the moment is fairly flat, although it did have a good rally yesterday as well. Rand dollar, 1846. So it has recovered a little bit. It was heading south yesterday, but recovered it. So I think these two levels here are pretty much the areas you need to pay attention to. So to the downside is 45,162. You're looking for buying opportunities there, and then you should be looking for selling opportunities at 47,526. Until we break out of this range, I think that's pretty much the norm. So for today, let's get to the hour quickly, sorry. And you can see we have the 150 EMA right here at 45,363. We have a little gap to the upside. So I think what you're looking for is a gap up, a retest, and a move to the upside. So yesterday we did get the gap down. We got the retest, but the retest, okay, we did have this level drawn in. So there was a retest off that level. We'll look at that on the lower time frame to see if that was actually a valid entry or not, which should have got you short, aiming for the next level to downside. But let me just fine tune this a bit and zoom in here. See this swing low here, and it coincides with this swing high. See there's a rejection there, then we're all over it here. But that is pretty much the area that we selected. Don't see what we're supposed to. We could fine tune it to this inside swing low here. Would have got you a little bit better exit point. But let's just get down to the 15 minutes. I just want to just quickly review what happened yesterday. Okay, so we did get a pin bar off that level. And there is my inside bar. Okay, And if I look a little bit to the left, see if there was anything else, there's another one there. So there's my 3 bars. If I was looking for a turn, that's what I should have been looking for. And that's exactly what transpired. So you got a pin bar off that area. So your entry was below the pin bar, you stop above the pin bar. Pretty much as we were looking at yesterday. So there it is there. That was a nice 200-point stop loss. That's not too bad. And then heading for the next level, which was a 500-point trade. So pretty decent. What's that? Just over a 2-to-1 trade. So that's not too shabby at all. Okay, so for today, I think you probably get a gap up, and I think what you want to do is pretty much exactly the same. So the saying rinse and repeat is what you want to try and do next. So gap up, wait for structure. You can see here there was no structure here because we were waiting for an entry to continue the short ride, and there was nothing here. Looking, what typically happens, especially with the Aussie, is people start getting in here and see they think, okay, we're getting in here because it's to retest that environment. But the Aussie very rarely takes that. It looks further left most of the time, and it looks for structure further to the left, which makes better sense. And it's normally the inside tail. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about by the inside tail, price comes down, comes up, forms a fractal. There's a tail. And then the minute it comes past here and it gets higher than that level, that's an inside tail. That then becomes a level. Okay, you can see there, bounced off it, down below it. All of these tails here are inside tails. So you're either looking for a fractal or you're looking for an area where there's a whole lot of inside tails like here and there. And I can even take it further to that inside tail there, and you can see we just fell short of that. Okay, so that's why I always look for 3 areas. So there's 3 areas. You can see price tested the one, tested the second, entries above that there, above this bar, stop there, and then you have a trade up to the next level. Okay, anyway, so basically what I would be looking for is a gap up, a retest, probably a retest in this area, I would assume, and then what we're looking for is a break above the structure that should form in this area. In other words, what I'm expecting, just do this. So we're expecting sort of a gap into this area here, and then you're going to want to see some kind of consolidation here. It might be 1, it might be 2, it might be 3, and then a break up. First target is going to be the gap. This bar here is a nonsense data, so your gap is there. It lines up with an inside tail and probably a Fibonacci. I'll look at that now. I just want to clean the chart up quickly before I do that. And your next target is going to be this area up here. So let's just do that. So there's my ultimate target up there. There is my target. And if I just pull in a Fibonacci here, 61.8 is right here at the first target. Okay, so in other words, what you're expecting is you're expecting price to gap up. Okay, you're waiting for some sort of a pullback or structure to form, and then what you're waiting for, the trade is going to be right there to the gap. You can try and push for 61.8, but I typically would be aiming right there for the Aussie. Okay, this inside tail here. Well, it's not quite an inside tail, but the previous bottom. Because normally what happens is it hits there and it has a massive moves to the downside, and then it comes back up later to test it, or it just reverses back. So that's kind of the trade that I normally do. Okay, so that's probably going to be 200-point stop loss for a 1-to-1 trade. That's the first trade of the morning, I would assume. And then we'll have to wait and see what transpires from that. But I think the reality of the situation here is we are range bound. And this area here is going to offer a lot of resistance at 47,200. Okay. So, yeah. And then the last thing, which I I've spotted on the S&P a little bit late was there was a wedge on the S&P which broke up, and it broke up quite violently as well. So that is also a possibility that we sort of target the top of the wedge, or if we do break above these highs up here at 47,700, then we're looking for a bigger move, and that bigger move is going to be something in the line of this. So that should take us up to 48,366. And just before we sign off, just check this Fibonacci as well. 61.8, just a bit below the 61.8, which Aussie also does that as well. Often shoots below to the 76.4 Fibonacci. I don't have that drawn in, but more than likely that's kind of the area that it's in. And there is a lot of support here. There's been support and resistance at this area for quite some time. So that was the level to aim for. 45,340 was the area. Oscillators are grouping the upside at the moment on hour. So yeah, gap up. We have had it a crossover. So take your profit early until you get a crossover again, and you can confirm that you're in an uptrend from the hour. At the moment, we have broken to downside, and you would expect to move to the upside, which just to move to close a gap would test those moving averages and could move to the downside again. And the other thing to bear in mind is the top of the channel is pretty much in that same area. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's my view at the moment. Personally, I'm not trading it. There's better opportunities elsewhere, and it's not as volatile and doesn't cost as much money to trade as what the Aussie does. So that's my view on this today. I hope it helps you. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch you in the new week. Cheers for now.